Hi you guys, my name is Oshun the Great, and welcome to my beautiful channel. Today I wanted to give my perspective as a psychic medium, as a tarot reader, of why I think dating sucks in 2023. I saw another YouTuber do this and I thought it would be cool because I already do a bunch of love readings for my clients, and these are a lot of things that I have in my mind in means of social awareness and what we all might be experiencing in this day and age. And so another YouTuber I saw touched on the fact that we have unrealistic expectations, especially in our economy today where there's inflation, the housing crisis. And when we look at things like Instagram, everyone's flexing. So people are expecting, just the hottest cars, I want a boyfriend who can just spend money on me all day. But that doesn't start from just Instagram culture. A lot of women grew up on the Cinderella, Prince Charming dynamic that, oh, I'm waiting on a man to save me, marry a rich man. That's in a lot of media that I wanted to reiterate before we start thinking that that's just IG culture. But I do agree that Instagram makes it seem the only value that people hold is what can this person do for me? And vice versa for men. Men are only wanting to, a lot of men use Instagram as a catalog for women to search for the hottest woman. And so on both ends of the spectrum, I can see how everyone's being used essentially, and there's a disconnect of real connection. And at the same time, I do think there was another spiritual healer I follow on Instagram. That's a lot of people I follow. He was saying we live in the emotional dark ages, and I agree. What I mean by this is in the collective, because I read energy for a living as well, is everyone's pretty lonely, even though they're not saying it. No one's connecting in a deep way anymore, and it's because could be because of technology. Also the dating apps. A lot of people don't like this either, but the dating apps make us feel as if the grass is always greener. We can always be replaced with something different, so forth and so forth. But I do think something happens in our society today where we're not socializing in the same ways, we're not connecting deeply right now. And so that's what I see and feel as a psychic medium, and that's what I feel dating is like. A lot of women are also opting out of dating across the globe because of patriarchy. A lot of things that were okay in the past, a lot of women are not finding that, they find that they are not willing to settle. So where women were forced to have husbands and now we can kind of survive on our own, it's like, why would we put up with anything at this point? And so even I watched people who said that, the typical nuclear American family is done with. No one's, there's a decrease in people wanting to get married and living together or have children right now. And just a huge wave of women who are wanting to disinter men. And this is not to be biased to the people who are happily married or happily in, committed relationships, but on a global scale, what I feel too as a psychic in my work is that, the connection thing, and people are fearing vulnerability and fearing the need to connect, even though that's part of being human. We very much so in the social media age, we live in this too cool to have emotions type of identity. From teenagers all the way to just the grown, the most grown adults, we have this attitude of we don't need anyone, but what it means to be human is to be social, to be vulnerable, to be, to go deeper. And I do think we're just in a time where we are deconstructing a lot of things that we didn't have the chance to do in the past, where people are having to be accountable for their own emotional development, their personal progression. The fact that, it's not enough to be misogynistic anymore or homophobic. People are finding out that they're not cis, like they're figuring out that they're queer, that there's intersections in sexuality. I think it's a lot that's going on where we're in this shift right now, and it makes that also, to me in my mind, adds to the loneliness factor. But yeah, that's just my idea of it all. I do think it's an interesting time to be alive in means of dating. what I find, and maybe this is on both sides, I can only speak for like women, obviously, but I find like people aren't wanting to settle, and we may have these ideas in our mind of exactly what we want, even if it's realistic or not, and people are not willing to budge. And I hear that there are women who are also, you know, celibate. There are a lot of women who are celibate by choice right now, but then there are a lot of women who aren't. And you know, there are women who are saying, yeah, there's men who are very picky. They want a certain ideal. Sorry, my lighting sucks these days. And they're saying, yeah, men are picky too. So it's like everyone's kind of going through it right now, it seems. And it seems the small percent, I'm really wanting to hear more videos on the people who have healthy relationships. Like what they're doing, because it seems like such a odd thing when such a huge part of the collective, it seems to be like going through this like decentering men, or you know, gender war online constantly. And it's just my perspective, but yeah, it's just me touching on some points that's happening right now in dating, in the dating culture. For me personally, I'm not a fan of hookup culture. Like for me, it's not even judging anything, because I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've chosen to be celibate, I've chosen to be on Tinder and things like that. But right now where I stand is I choose to just not date right now at all, and to just be focused on my career. I think there was an article that was also saying that a lot of people find more joy in their career than they do having kids anymore, and you know, dedicating and living with a partner, things like that. And so it's very interesting, even this dynamic of purpose, and you know, our generation not putting up with certain things. Like we don't stay in jobs that make us unhappy anymore. So it's very interesting. And I do see, for me, there's too much superficiality. Even what I've been taught, I have to challenge my own thoughts of like, you know, a lot of women are just taught, you know, the sugar baby route, or you know, the you know, men are supposed to provide and buy you things, and that's it. But I also don't believe that love is enough. So it's like me, I'm sitting here challenging my own thoughts, and it's really a dynamic of what is what right now in my mind, because I don't know either. So I'm curious to what you guys think, and this, I just wanted to open discussion. But yeah, till next time.